The 2023 free agency opened at the beginning of July, and things have been busy around the league. The highlight of the free agency market is Jaylen Brown's 5-year, $304 million deal, which is the largest in NBA history. Anthony Edwards, Lamelo Ball, and Tyrese Haliburton signed contract extensions with their current teams worth around $260 million. The best players on the market are already signed, but there are still plenty of guys who are still available and can make a huge difference on any team. John Wall tops our list as the biggest name still available on the free agent market. It's been a while since we've seen Wall play at the top of his game, but he can still be a great asset on a winning team. The 2010 first overall pick has played only 74 games in the last 2 years, and he's missed 2 entire seasons with heel and Achilles injuries. After sitting out the 2021-22 season, Wall was with the Los Angeles Clippers last year. He played only 34 games, starting in 3 of them, averaging 11.4 points and 5.2 assists per game. The 5-time All-Star was included in a 3-team trade during the season, landing back in Houston as he ended up being waived by the Rockets for the second time in less than a year. Wall is not even close to the level he was years ago, but he is someone who can pick up the energy on any team. He could maybe sign with the Phoenix Suns as his former Wizards teammate Bradley Beal moved there this summer, and the Suns have no true point guard since they traded both Chris Paul and Cameron Payne this summer. Wall was once the second highest paid player in the league, but now he won't get more than the veteran minimum. Christian Wood is the best big man left on the market. The 6'8" center had a tough time establishing himself as a reliable player in the league as he changed 5 teams in his first 5 seasons. Wood finally found himself a starting job with the Houston Rockets after he was traded from the Detroit Pistons in 2020. He had the best season of his career in 2020-21, averaging 21 points and 9.6 rebounds per game on a solid 51.4% shooting from the field. He played on the same level in the following season, averaging a double-double with 17.9 points and 10.1 rebounds. Having back-to-back solid seasons, Wood got a lot of attention throughout the league as the Mavericks traded 5 players to land him in Dallas. Wood was seen as a player who could fit well with Luka Doncic, but only a year later it seems like the Mavs gave up on him. He started only 17 of 67 games last year for the Mavs, averaging 16.6 points and 7.3 rebounds, but head coach Jason Kidd was not satisfied with his defensive skills and effort in general. Another player who is still without a team for next season is Kelly Oubre Jr. The 27-year-old had a solid season last year with the Charlotte Hornets, averaging 20.3 points and 5.2 rebounds per game. The main reason why he's still on the free agent market is the surgery to repair a torn ligament in his left hand. Knowing that Oubre Jr. is a lefty and his shooting percentages last season were 43.1% from the field and 31.9% from the three-point territory, teams are having second thoughts about signing him before seeing him fully recovered. The 6'6" forward is improving his game every year, but it is a fact that he has still not reached the maturity level that most teams would expect from a player with 9 NBA seasons on his resume. Being a versatile player, Kelly Oubre Jr. will most definitely get a chance somewhere, but it may take a while as he may be a final piece that some team will add to their roster for the next season. PJ Washington is another free agent who spent last season with the Hornets. The 24-year-old forward started all 73 games in Charlotte, averaging 15.7 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 1.1 blocks per game. The Hornets selected Brandon Miller with the second pick at the 2023 NBA Draft, and it's understandable that they'll start him in Washington's spot. But it is still unbelievable how no team has grabbed the 6'7" forward by now. Washington can easily be a starter on many teams in the league and is probably seeking a long-term deal that will give him stability and the opportunity to focus strictly on basketball. Teams like Miami, Dallas, or Sacramento would be a perfect fit for Washington, and it will be very interesting to see where he ends up. TJ Warren was on the way to becoming an elite scorer in the NBA, but a foot injury sent his career into a downfall. Not that long ago, Warren had a 53-point game for the Indiana Pacers and averaged 19.8 points per game in the 2019-20 season. Soon after, he suffered a left foot injury and has only played a total of 46 games in the last 3 seasons, only starting in 4 of them. Warren split a total of 42 games between the Brooklyn Nets and the Phoenix Suns last season, averaging 7.5 points per game on 48.9% shooting from the field. Warren is 29 years old, and he will most likely end up on a contender such as the Warriors or the Nuggets as a reliable scoring option off the bench. Seeing Blake Griffin without a job looks pretty strange, as not that long ago he was a regular All-Star and one of the most hyped players in the league. Since then, the Lob City Clippers failed to make a significant playoff run, and Griffin ended up with the Pistons. His last 3 seasons can easily be called disastrous for Griffin, who had no major role with the Nets and the Celtics. Last year in Boston, he was brought in to add size under the rim, but it was quickly obvious that he is just a shadow of the athletic beast he used to be with the Clippers. Griffin played in only half the season last year, spending less than 14 minutes per game on the court and averaging 4.1 points and 3.8 rebounds. Griffin is already 34 years old, and it won't be easy to find a suitor for him. Terrence Ross is another interesting name to see on the free agent market. He made a name for himself as an electrifying scorer when he was with the Toronto Raptors and signed a nice deal with the Orlando Magic that paid him more than $12 million a year. Ross had been one of the best players coming off the bench in the last 5 seasons, and many teams showed interest in trading for him while he was in Orlando. He reached the phase of his career when he wanted to play for a championship contender, and after the Magic waived him in February, he signed a deal with the Suns. Ross is 32 years old and has at least 3 good years left in the tank. He is still a player who can be a productive boost off the bench for any team, and he will definitely get such a role on a contending team. Justise Winslow was supposed to be the next big thing in Miami, but since the Heat chose to win now instead of building for the future, Winslow ended up in Memphis and is now without a contract. He played around 30 minutes per game as soon as he stepped into the league out of the University of Kentucky. Winslow's career was developing well, but the Heat had no time to wait on him. Miami's godfather, Pat Riley, wanted to build up a contending team, and trading partners were asking for Winslow in that process. That's how he ended up in Memphis and has failed to find a home ever since. He played only 26 games for the Grizzlies, averaging 6.8 points, and he had short stints with the Clippers and the Blazers since then. Also, Winslow has been struggling with injuries and played only 29 games last year in Portland, averaging 6.8 points and 5 rebounds on 40.9% shooting from the field and 33.1% from deep. Those shooting numbers do not sell well in today's NBA, but Winslow is still only 27 years old, and when healthy, he is a beast on the defensive end of the floor. Markieff Morris has been an NBA journeyman since 2011, and after a mediocre season with the Nets and the Mavs, he is still in search of his next destination. Morris started last season with the Nets, where he averaged only 3.6 points per game before being sent to Dallas as part of the Kyrie Irving deal. Things did not work well for him as he made only 8 appearances for the Mavs, averaging 4.5 points per game. Morris still can be a solid role player, and he shot close to 40% from the three-point territory in the limited time he got last year. He was a member of the 2020 Los Angeles Lakers championship team and can add value off the bench to any team that is targeting a long playoff run. Morris would be a great fit for the 3-and-D role, and he would most likely end up with the Warriors, Bucks, or Heat. And lastly, we have Goran Dragic, as another former All-Star who is without a team for the upcoming season. The Slovenian spent last season in Milwaukee, playing only 7 games for the Bucks. He reached his peak with the Miami Heat and led that team to the NBA Finals back in 2020. After that, he had short stints with the Nets, Bulls, and Bucks, and it is pretty clear that all he can do now at the age of 37 is be a backup point guard with limited playing time. Dragic's experience and basketball IQ can be validated by many NBA teams, and knowing that he is willing to give one more shot at winning the championship, Dragic is definitely ready to accept the veteran minimum. He's respected back in Europe as well, and if he's not signed by an NBA team in August, he may accept some of the many offers from the EuroLeague teams. That's all for today. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. If you enjoy this kind of NBA content, be sure to like, subscribe, and click to watch this next video.